Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have another Christmas craft tutorial for you today. I'm really excited about this one because I'm very lucky, was another one of those projects that turned out exactly as I had envisioned it. Maybe a little bit more complicated because I decided to turn them into shakers, but here are the cards that I'm going to show you that I made. So I made the little postcard template on my Cricut. Super simple, just a rectangle with a square attached to it, and that vertical line there is going to be drawn by the pen. Here is my machine quickly cutting them out and drawing them up for me. I knew this was going to be a quick and simple craft, so I decided to make 4 of them at once. So here are my templates all cut out. I'm going to need 4 card bases. The stamps I'm using today are a bunch of cute Avery Elle Peekaboo Pals, my scripty Christmas sentiments by Mama Elephant, and my Love Ya a Latte stamps by Lawn Fawn. I'm also using this adorable washi tape that I got from Hobby Hoppers, some kids craft foam. This time I'm using some adhesive foam because I just want to use up this icky beige colour, and I'm using a bunch of Distress Oxide inks, pretty much just in pairs from the same colour family. I've got my blending brushes and pretty much every Copic colour that I own is out today. I'm going to get started on the backgrounds for all of these little postcards. As you can see, I'm just using 2 inks, one on each side of my little piece of cardstock, and then blending them together in the middle. I do the same for all of the inks, blending them and then giving them a quick spray with some water to give it some texture. Once all of my ink blending was done, it was then time to get onto my stamping. Decided that in each of these little postcard scenes, I wanted one of these adorable little Avery Elle creatures to be holding something, whether it be a coffee or a present. I just thought that would look really cute. And here's my blooper for the day, because it wouldn't be one of my cards if I didn't manage to do something like this. I dropped an entire ink pad on my stamped images. I don't know how I do it sometimes, it's just pure talent. Here I am just stamping out the rest of my images. It was really hard to pick which animals to use. I knew I definitely wanted a little Rudolph reindeer, and the moose was too cute to pass up. The fox is adorable, and the polar bear. It was so hard not to go with the seal and the other bear. Maybe I need to make some more of these. I'm lucky that these were actually pretty simple. It's just a matter of doing the steps in the right order, as I learned. So learn from my mistakes in this video, and you'll be able to make a bunch of these really quickly. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time colouring in these cuties. I'll leave you with some music. Now that most of my colouring was done, I went back to these little backgrounds. I wanted to decorate them a little bit more, so I used my white gold watercolour pigment and sprinkled some of that all over. I love how shimmery this is. It is just so beautiful, and I wanted to make these little backgrounds look like it was snowing. After sprinkling that watercolour around, I then used some white paint, watering it down and splattering it all over the backgrounds. This again is just for a bit more texture and to make the backgrounds look a little bit more interesting. Even though they're going to be shaker cards with little bits of snow moving around, I do like having this in the background so that even if the pieces all fall down to the bottom, it still looks like a really cute snowy scene. Once that had dried, I then stuck my little creatures into place. With these little cuties not having a body and holding things that aren't quite big enough to cover up enough space that it would look like a body would be behind it, I decided to use some of my pixie dust lawn fawn cardstock to make a bit of a snowy mound that they can be sitting behind. How cute is that moose? I think he might be my favourite. I did this for all of them and added any extra little bits that I wanted in the scene that was going to be in the shaker. Once all my little scenes were glued and dried, I then trimmed off the excess snow. Before I went any further, I needed to stamp the sentiments onto my postcards. Each one of them was different. Happy holidays, love ya a latte, 'tis the season to be jolly, and bring on the merry. These all looked so cute in their scripty fonts. I just thought I would show you how adorable this washi tape is. This is one that I got from Hobby Hoppers. I am just loving this postage stamp design, and there's heaps of them. I thought maybe it would repeat after 3 or 4, but I think there's almost 10 different designs. It's really, really cute. I'm now going to start prepping the shaker element to this card. I'm measuring out my craft foam and cutting it to size. And this is where I made my first big mistake. I was so excited and eager to get the shaker element done that I started sticking my craft foam down before I had put my acetate window down. I could have just not done a shaker with shaker elements and maybe just done a bit of a 3D card, giving it a bit of depth with this postcard and leaving it as it is, but I really wanted those shaker pieces floating around, so I had to redo this piece. I'm going to stop showing it here because it's a bit sad. I just got way too ahead of myself and was not paying attention. So here's the best way to go about it. Once those postcards were done, I then put their little acetate windows in. I did this with all of them so I wouldn't forget to do that again. I also stuck down my little creatures in the right spot on a piece of cardstock that was cut to the exact same size as the front of the postcard. This was just so that I knew they lined up perfectly when I put the postcard piece over the top. Here I am choosing my shaker elements. I'm using some tiny foam balls, some itty bitty snowflake clay slices, and some tiny little gems. I then removed the backing to the adhesive craft foam and stuck this postcard over the top. And already I am in love. I could have just left it like that and made them tiny cards, but I really wanted to do cute backgrounds for them. To add to the dimension of this card and to make sure that my insides of my shaker window had minimal things to get stuck on, I decided to stick the little hands and the little things that they were holding on the outside of the acetate. I feel like this gives it a bit of natural shadow and a lot more dimension. It just really makes it look like it pops out. The rest of the card front for all of these cards follow the same very simple steps. I used the same sentiment from the front of each postcard to do these little backgrounds, stamping it and using the same colours that I had used to decorate the little snowy scene on the inside of the shakers to tie everything together. For these stamps, I just put them in all different directions to fill up as much space as possible. And once I was done with the sentiment, I then put some presents and some little snowflakes in the other colour. I really like how these backgrounds turned out. They were super simple and they just add to the overall look of the card and make it look like it was really well planned. At least I like to think so. Once all the backgrounds were done, it was then time to just tidy them up a little bit, and I like to do this by rounding the corners. I just feel like it makes everything look a little bit more smooth, and because my paper trimmer's blade is on the way out, it's kind of making my cardstock look a little bit messy. So I'm finding this is just really helping make everything come together nicely. I prepped these to stick to the card bases by putting on the double-sided tape now. And then it was time to put the double-sided tape on my little postcards. So here I am adhering the background before putting my postcard on so that I could ensure it was nice and flat and centered. And then for the best part of this whole process, sticking these postcards on. I just love how these look. I am so happy with it. I really hope that you like them too. They're a little bit different. They're really cute and fun. You could do these with so many things. You don't have to do these with the Avery Elle stamps. You could put any little scene in there and make adorable little postcards on a card. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I still have many more exciting Christmas things to share with you. I'll leave you with some photos of all the finished cards. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.